All right, welcome back. You're watching NewsX India A-List. I'm Uday Pratap Singh. Our next guest for the evening today is an award-winning and nationally acclaimed author, Satyapal Chandra. Besides penning some of India's finest literature, he's also the founder of the world's first visual web browser. Yes, take a look at this inspirational story.
Founder of the world's first visual web browser.
I have built a browser and a document reader and a visual dictionary. When you are reading anything, you just tap on that word, you will get a visual meaning.
Acclaimed nationally for 10 best-selling novels.
All the character that is in the book, initially they seems that they are normal human being like me and you, but they have a very strange connection with 20,000-year-old history.
NewsX proudly recognizes Satyapal Chandra for excellence in thought leadership.
Hello and welcome. I'm Uday Pratap Singh. You're joining us on this special interview as part of our NewsX A-List series. We're in conversation today with Satyapal Chandra. Satyapal is founder and CEO of MagTapp. He's also the author of the new book, A Promise Among the Dark Winds. Welcome. Thank you so much for being with us today, Satyapal.
Pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
Let me begin with you by just talking a bit about your book. So tell us about the title, how you thought of the book and what's unique about it.
It's a mythological fiction. It's a story that is set in two different time span. One is 20,000 years back and second is the current time. So this is like a love story. There's a normal couple who is living in a very extremely wonderful city in India, that is a fictional city that is known as Simla. And when they connect with each other, when they try to know each other, they got to know that a very strange history is related to them and they have a purpose to be here. So what is the purpose, what is the history that is, rooting them back to 20,000 years back? That is the crux of the story.
Okay. Also tell us a bit about the characters in the book, and what you feel distinguishes them.
I always take a lot of time to develop character, like, what should be the character, her or his behavior, the way of talking, the way they live, where they stay, everything. So the main protagonist of this novel is Annie. She is a very powerful woman. She is extremely charismatic woman, and the best thing about it is that she is not a human being. She is a golden angel, and the concept behind golden angel is that she comes once in a generation. She is the only one, and she is very powerful, but some strange reason she is trapped on earth, and he finds Ravi. Ravi is the another protagonist. He is a normal human being, office going guy. He has his own conflicting kind of thing that is going on, and then he realized that I have a very strange past and I'm not a human being, I'm a monster. So this is the story. So all the character that is in the book, initially they seems that they are normal human being like me and you, but they have a very strange connection with 20,000-year-old history.
Okay. It's a mythical romance.
Yeah, mythical romance.
Tell us a bit about this genre and also how challenging was it writing this book, Satyapal?
It's a very challenging to write a mythical book, like, mythical, everything is imaginary. Suppose you are creating a new creature, if you are creating a new character, you have to look after all the small element. A story should not go out of flow, characters should not go out of flow, how they live, how they behave, and it should be for the sustained period of time. So it is little challenging because we don't know anything in reality. We just imagine a world so beautiful, so strange, so fascinating, and we write it.
Okay. Also, I want to ask you a bit about the research as well. What kind of research went into this book?
Yeah, before writing this book, I have done a lot of research because the setup is complete mythological. So first, I have created a city, the very different city like city of Simla. So I have created a city and I have done the research. The main research I have dived into about a rare planetary event, that is rare astronomical event that is known as planetary alignment, because the history, the story originated from this particular event, and in the real life it happens once in millions year. Rare planetary event. So I have researched everything about how these astronomic things work, so I can come with the little scientific touch with the story.
Okay, I have to also ask you, because that's a question you will get asked, I'm sure, very often once people read the book. Is there a sequel already being planned? Because the ending, I think, says to be continued.
Yes, because I have just tell a little bit part of a story. This is a part of a huge story. So I'm planning a couple of sequels.
Okay. Tell us now a bit about your business. Let's talk about that. MagTapp, what was the concept behind it? What's unique about it? How has been the response? Why should people use MagTapp?
Yes. The abbreviation of MagTapp is magical tapping, like you're tapping on something and then magic happens. So why we have built MagTapp? What is MagTapp? In a nutshell, MagTapp is a productivity tool it is built to eliminate the language barrier. Look, in India, we all face language barrier. Like suppose your background is Hindi, someone is from Tamil, Telugu, Odia, Kannada. And you know, we read content in English medium. 80%, 90% content right now in online, in a digital book, tend to happen in an English medium. So I have built a browser and a document reader and a visual dictionary. When you are reading anything, you just tap on that word, you will get a visual meaning on the word on a go. So it won't consume your time, visual represent better, it improve your retention rate. So eliminate the language barrier, we have built MagTapp. Right now, MagTapp is being used by 40 lakh plus people. Average people is spending 15-20 minutes every day on MagTapp, and we are expanding our business.
Okay. Where do you see it going? What's the future looking like?
I think if you look at the India statistics right now, 50% of Indians are not having a smartphone. And I just said that we are also a visual web browser, world first visual web browser. So over the time, I'm hoping next coming 3 to 4 years, we are going to be the first point of contact to internet to a lot of Indians who are going to use internet. Over the time, we are also going to empower a lot of businesses, you know, to let their content being read by a wider set of audience, and at the time, let them help in monetization. So this is the plan.
Okay. Let's now talk about how you balance the two, because they're very different, being an author and being a CEO. How do you balance the two? And also, are there any similarities between being an entrepreneur and being an author?
Yeah, I think the most, you know, connecting similarity that I have found is being an entrepreneur or being a writer or being a creative guy. We both create something out of nothing. In both sector, you require lots of perseverance. You know, people gonna challenge you. People are not going to believe you what you are creating, what you are writing, what you are making. Even in the sector of entrepreneurship, suppose you are doing something for, you know, sustained period of time, people will challenge you. Oh, this is not going to work. Everyone has tried that. So the most striking similarity between both, that they both create something out of nothing.
Okay. You know, I want to tell our viewers something very, very interesting about Satyapal. He was from a Hindi medium school. He was once turned away by a waiter for not speaking English fluently enough. So that's your past. Cut to today, you've written 11 books in English. You founded your own company. You're working with people in an app that's predominantly in English. Yeah. How did you do this?
I think as a human being, we all are born with some set of our shortcomings, challenges, disabilities, whatever. So because I was a Hindi medium student, so this was challenging for me to learn English or speak in English. But like everyone has their share of imperfection. So I got to know that once upon a time I was humiliated by a waiter because, you know, I was placing order in Hindi and he have given me an alien look. So I thought that no, I'm going to overcome this challenges, situations, because there is no point to just whine about my situation. I'm not knowing that. World is not going to listen to me. So I have a fixed deadline, like 6 months. I'm going to learn English by myself. And then once I learned English, I understand the potential of this language because there is a vast of content that is unexplored to read and learn. And I think this is the shortcoming. Just because of that, I have found MagTapp. So I'm helping, I think, millions of people in India to read content. So I think this has come out of my own pain point. So this is I think at some essence, it is a boon for me.
Yeah, no doubt. Everyone goes through successes and failures. What have you learned from your failures and what have you learned from your success?
I think success and failure is a part of life. Like, you know, what is a success and what is a failure? If you distinguish this, both are the outcome. If you are doing some work and result is coming the way you want, it is a success. Result is not coming the way you want, it is failure. I think failure is the best teacher. Like success, when you become successful, you will be little go out of extra proportion kind of thing. But when you fail, it becomes your best friend. It teaches you, you should not do that. You should put calculated effort. You should do this, if you should do that. So I think we should embrace our failure as our best friend. So he can guide us that, you know, this is the line and limit you should not cross. And this is the perfect line and limit, like our best friend guide us. You should not drink, you should do that, you should not do that. So I think failure is our best friend. Okay,
last couple of questions to you. Firstly, any more books being planned?
I think a sequel of this book is being planned.
Okay. Yeah. Anything else as well?
No, I am working on a couple of concepts. One is related to renewable energy and one is related to consumer electronics. So I'm going to found 2 more companies by the next year.
Oh, fantastic. So a lot in the future for you.
Yeah, a lot.
And even for MagTapp.
Yes. Even for the MagTapp, we are expanding MagTapp. We are opening new offices, hiring new people. 2 more companies on the pipeline and a couple of books in the pipeline.
Okay, last question to you. For people who are watching you, who are getting inspired by your story, what's the advice you'll give them? What's something that you'd like to tell them?
I think I just want to say, a lot of people say that whatever you do, you have the astute passion. But I think moreover the passion, you should have the obsession. Like, with passion, you can work for 6 to 8 hours. But today's time, 6 to 8 hour working is not sufficient. So whatever you want to do in your life, apart from being passionate, be obsessed. Like, this is my life, I'm going to put my life blood into that. If you become obsessed for what you want, you will attain it someday or other. But you will attain it, that for sure.
Okay. Thank you so much for joining us, Satyapal, founder and CEO of MagTapp, and all the very best. Your new book, of course, A Promise.
Among the Dark Winds.
Among the Dark Winds. It's out.
Yeah.
And people, of course, can read it. And then if you do enjoy it, well, already there's an announcement that's coming from Satyapal that a sequel also is coming very, very soon. Thank you once again for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.